Hi, I am recording this on November 11th, Veterans Day, and this marks the 100th year anniversary of the inauguration of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier that happened in 1921 for one of the unknown soldiers from World War One. This is a day that we should honor our vets, but it shouldn't be the only day we honor our veterans. Every day we should be honoring our veterans. I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you three stories about veterans, two of whom are from WNC. And then I'll weave it in a little bit at the end of this. One of our students was discharged from the service, and his last detail was a honorary one of being part of the folks that ran the whole guard duty and ceremonial guard duty at the tombs of the unknown soldiers in Washington, D.C. Anybody in the services know this is the ultimate honor to serve as an honor guard for that. In late August 2005, remember the date, my student was on part of the duty of supporting the guards, the honor guards there. If you remember, at the end of August 2005 is when Hurricane Katrina was hitting, and it did ravage not only the Gulf Coast, it went up the coast and ravaged all of the East Coast as well. As this hurricane was going inland, the National Park Service said that it would be dangerous for any people around the tombs of the unknown soldiers to stand their post, to be the honor guard there, and that the National Park Service would be quite happy just to position a couple cars or trucks there to serve as protecting these hallowed spots. Well, you can imagine what happened. Those fine soldiers stood their post in the middle of Hurricane Katrina. And my student who relayed that story said he could not believe that they stood their post in sideways rain and blowing conditions. But they said that was their honor to do that. When he told the story in speech class, there wasn't a dry eye left in the room, including mine, is that there is things like duty, honor, and country still alive today. Second story was one of my students who was just discharged and coming back from Iraq. And he just did one tour there and decided to come back to school and find out where he's going in life. I found out from his journal entries that he was in Iraq, away from the combat. He was an IT tech. And one time he had to go with a platoon up to a little village that was having some IT problems. You can guess what happened is that there was an ambush of this platoon, and my student, who had barely shot his M4 before, was forced in a position where he had to defend himself and his new friends, and ended up killing some people. And it was hard for him to come to grips with that, because he said, I'm just an IT specialist away from the fighting, and all of a sudden I was fighting for my life. And the psychological toll, him having to kill other human beings, even though justified, had a toll on him. We had conversations during that semester, and hopefully he was coming to grips with that bit by bit, and also learning how to use those experiences to stay in touch with himself. Duty, honor, country, it sometimes has its price. The third one happened when I was down in Monterey playing golf. And it was a busy day, so they put different people together. And I was paired with a nice older couple, not as old as me, but a nice older couple, and he was just a brute of a man. And obviously they were well off, and they said they were just traveling all along the West Coast and playing golf at different famous golf courses. And so it was a very slow round, and we had a chance to talk in between. And he kept on saying, repeat that again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. And finally, on about the seventh hole, he said, I have to apologize. I've lost most of my hearing in Vietnam when I was in a helicopter. I was a machine gunner in a helicopter shooting an M60, and I lost most of my hearing there. And he's a big brute of a man. And I went up to him and shook his hand and said, thank you for your service, being a person of that generation. He looked at his wife, and they both start crying, and I didn't know why. And he said, that's the first time anybody has said that to me. This poor guy made such sacrifices, physical and psychological sacrifices, that no one ever expressed any appreciation of his service. In the last video, we talked about the power of the compliment. And this is a good experiment for you. Not only during Veterans Day, but every day, seek out a veteran and go to them and thank them for their sacrifices, for their service. Listen to the words coming out of your mouth. It could be as simple as, thank you for your duty. Thank you for your service. Mean it for them. Because there is power just in the simple thank you. The compliments don't have to be long and drawn out. It could be as simple and profound as a thank you. I think in our divisive country right now, where there are different tribes, one way to start healing our wounds is to start with thanking our veterans, no matter what they look like, how old they are. Start thanking our veterans day in and day out. And that, I think, will be good for those folks. It will also, even if you're a 19-year-old right out of high school, it will show your class and an integrity of going up to an older person and thanking them person to person for their service. It will show your class, and you'll feel much better about yourself. And I think if we start doing more of that on a regular basis, that will help us start smoothing over a lot of our divisions. So think of that today and every day. I shall talk to you soon.